You know, we all love these, Brian. You can't wait to see the wrestling weddings. They're all just gold, Jerry, just gold. Can't wait to see the wrestling weddings. Normally, the wrestling weddings involve an actual star in the company. That's the best ones. But this, they're doing probably nothing has ever been consistently as bad as wrestling weddings. They always suck. They're always hokey and phony. In this, usually they're done with stars. In this case, that wasn't even the case. I can't call Pip Sabian and his lovely bride Penelope Pitstop underneath talent, because do they ever even really wrestle? They just come out and do stupid shit with goofball Miro. Miro! I want them to team up, Miro and Rio, so we can sing their introductions. But can you call Pip Sabian underneath talent when he's never even wrestling? He's just there to do this stupid comedy with video games?
I mean, he's definitely underneath.
Well, you got me again there. You're coming in pretty hot today, pretty good today with these comebacks there. We should tape earlier more often. The best part of this was Father James Mitchell, good old Daryl Van Horn, presiding, because he don't give a fuck. And he kept it halfway clean. On Smoky Mountain TV one time, he started chanting and fucking conjuring Prince Karis up from the Egyptian tombs by speaking Kizarni about Wizeta Kizan Safiza Kamizi. With my Wizeta Kizanta. Nobody ever figured it out. Anyway, so Mitchell was the best part about it. Jerry Lynn walked Penelope out. Jerry Lynn looks younger than the fucking wrestlers on the roster still. I don't know why Penelope was wearing white. She ought to be wearing fucking magenta with purple stripes. I understand that she's had more dicks in her than a urinal at Madison Square Garden.
Hey.
But I'm not one to... No, that's just an old joke. I don't know anything about her personal life.
She looked pretty good in that dress. You can't take that away from her.
She's attractive. I wish she'd become a model so we could just look at pictures of her and not see her on a wrestling program. She's very attractive. Pip would be a wonderful model for children's clothing if we just didn't have to watch him on wrestling. Miro would be a fucking wonderful model for... What could he model?
Eastern European drug dealers.
There you go. Either that or fucking maintenance personnel's uniforms. He'd look good in one of those jumpsuits like Colt Cabana used to wear with his name on his fucking name tag like a guy that works at a gas station, which is probably where Miro's going to be now that he has to depend on his wrestling talent, has no help with anybody getting him over despite himself. Anyway, JR mentioned, well, there, James Mitchell presiding for the hopefully short ceremony, which the ceremony was short, and I thought we were going to get lucky, but then it kept going from there. Pip shared his vows, which was some alleged comedy that he'd memorized. Penelope did the same, but not as well. She was going for a dick joke, but he cut her off. It was short, I wrote down, but still seemed long. Mitchell had to say the word kayfabe twice. That's the only part I didn't like about what Mitchell was doing. Is no reason you could have done all the good shit without using insider terminology. Miro shot down the objections question, so we didn't get to hear that. And I know because they had him in some kind of fucking marriage deal with that fucking goofy Lana, right? On the WWE.
And they're really married, him and that goofy Lana, as you put it.
Oh, fuck, that's right. The one that she had, first she was Russian, then she wasn't Russian, then she had an accent, she didn't have an accent. I've seen her a couple times. She was the fucking drizzling shits.
And then she was rushing into the arms of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. But so they did a bunch of comedy wedding shit with her and him, and so he's the one. But now they're referring to goofy, stupid shit that was bad on the other fucking company's program. And they've got to remind people that the same people that did bad, goofy, stupid shit on the other program are now doing the same thing on their program. How is that productive in any way, shape, or form? Is it?
No. You know the answer. No, of course not.
If it was the only people that thought that shit was any good when they did it were the people that were in it. And that's because they don't even know what's good in wrestling. Because who the fuck these people have never even seen wrestling, and they're perpetrating it. And they're being told what to do by people they work for who know less than they do. Oh my God. As this was going on, I wrote in capital letters, "This is the TNT network." I could understand if it was some local fucking independent promotion on a local station or whatever. You know, you do what you, but this is supposed to be national cable and legitimate professional people here. Of course, Chuck the Buttlefuck is there. He's the butler. They won him. He brought the champagne. Miro rattled off some nonsense in his accent, and I never can understand what he's saying. And then he pointed at a box. There was a gift-wrapped box in there, so he went over and beat it up, and it was an empty box. And
well, you always say, whatever's in the box, whoever
comes out of a box gets over.
Gets over. What happens if there's no one in the box?
Nothing gets over. And here's proof. It was an empty box for an empty segment. It was so bad that when fucking Miro was trying to do the toast thing, the actual fans, not the ones at ringside, but the actual fans they've let in the upper deck, started singing to entertain themselves. He said, "What is love?" And they started, "What is love, baby? Don't hurt me." Then they're singing. And so he had to go with it because they were so bored and this was so bad that even the people who like everything, including the taste of their own shit, and support AEW was going into business for themselves. Somehow, Miro finishes his statement and tries to go over and do something and has been chained to the rope, has been leg shackled to the rope without him knowing it. Chuck the Buttlefuck apparently did it off camera. And so now with him leg ironed to the bottom rope, Chuck was able to nail Pip, who bumped into Penelope, who took a stagey fall into the fucking cake. And then they beat up Chuck, but Pockets came out of the cake and beat Pip up. Brian, has anything this stupid, this bad, this poorly done, this unprofessional, involving people who are so unknown in this business on an overall basis ever been done on Raw? Ever?
Oh, I don't want to just say no without researching that, because there's a chance.
But you gotta think.
But this is certainly an homage to the awfulness of Monday Night Raw.
People constantly have criticized. This was supposed to be the sports-based presentation for the dog and pony show that they've turned pro wrestling into. But yet, not only was this as poorly done, as poorly executed, as silly and stupid and fake as anything been done on Raw, but it wasn't even done by stars. It wasn't even done by people who looked like stars. It wasn't even done by people who you could say, well, say what you want about what they're doing now, but gosh, they were great when so-and-so, because these people involved in this have barely been heard of by anyone but this minute niche audience that has been has hijacked this fucking billionaire's fucking company. Anyway, not even stars in their own company. So that's what they did there. Closing thoughts on the wedding. When's the divorce?
It was a terrible segment. I don't even know if I should say it's embarrassing, because there's so much other embarrassing stuff. It's just bad. It's just not good. Miro's been a waste there. Kip Sabian, no one cares about at all. Now, let's just actually look at this as a program we're supposed to care about. Kip Sabian announces he's going to marry Penelope. He's going to reveal his best man. They had Brian Pillman Jr. and some goofball come out, think they were going to be the best man. But the big reveal was it was Miro, on the heels of being misused by the WWE for years. He comes in. He's the best man. He's going to arrange the bachelor party. They do a video with him and Billy Mitchell from the King of Kong. And then that goes nowhere. We never see Billy Mitchell again. I don't know what happened with the bachelor party. Was there one? You thought there would be some kind of video showing some goofy AEW bachelor party.
No, because they're not important enough to get flown out to Las Vegas so they can jack off.
You could have done it anywhere. You could have done it anywhere in Florida, but they didn't even do that.
Don't forget about the broken video game.
The broken video game, of course, there's that. Then they do the wedding. I like James Mitchell. I think he's a talented guy. I thought he was a little too hokey here and a little too cute for his own good here. We haven't seen Vicky Guerrero in weeks. For some reason, she's walking Kip out to his wedding.
She works there, but yet why? And what for what reason?
So again, they just do this wedding with these undercard characters that nobody cares about. They just made Chuck Taylor, the guy's butler, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? It just happened.
It was two.
2 weeks ago.
He's been a butler once before, I think.
By the way, that came out of nowhere. It was just all of a sudden, I'm going to beat you and you're going to be my butler.
His partner got hurt legitimately, so what else are you going to do with a guy where his partner gets hurt, but put him in a match where if he loses, he has to be the heel's butler?
So the stupid stipulation comes out of nowhere. And of course he loses. It's the old made-for-a-day thing. He's the butler. They give it 2 weeks.
And he's fighting back already.
2 weeks, and all of a sudden he's sabotaging this wedding. I would like to know, how did they get that fake cake in the ring with Orange Cassidy in it? With the ropes there and everything? I would like to know how they did that.
I guarantee you that they spent time on what I'm sure was an already busy day and a long production day to fucking go out there and take the ropes down so they get the fucking cake in and put the ropes back up just to do that stupid shit with that stupid, offensive human being.
I don't know. But the segment was bad. It was embarrassing. When I always say it's their version of WWE Raw, this is an example. When I say that it's a bad show, here's an example. We've had another battle royal. We had another wrestling wedding. Remember when that was like a thing, like out of nowhere, like, oh my God, Plowboy Frazier, Butcher Vachon.
And every time you saw one, every smart fan fucking hated it and shit all over it because it was getting in the way of the fucking wrestling and making everybody look stupid and fake.
Penelope went into the cake, which is great because we haven't seen that in 2 weeks since the kid's birthday party where another guy went into cake. This whole segment was atrocious. This promotion is horribly booked. And this is in the middle of all this other stuff. Just horrible booking. Horrible booking. Defend that, Dave.